So you think it's cheap? You think gold and silver are cheap right now?
I think they're cheap because you just don't trust the dollar. You don't trust what the government. With them, if you look and see how much you've got printed, it wouldn't be very pretty. With the current price of the silver and the gold, it's just way cheap.
Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
This looks like my kind of shop right here. Hey, Denny, can I see your shop?
Sure, come in.
Wow, look at all of this. All kinds of stuff in here. People want to see the coins, though. That's what they like to see.
The ones you're taking a picture of there now are way later, earlier years. Probably the newest one in there is probably a really cheap piece from 2012 at about $30, and the others are all Mexican, and big ones, ounce-wise, are all have a mintage of something in the 400 to 600 piece range, I believe, on these, and they're all part of the sets.
So I got to ask you, Denny, because I've been hearing from people, you've been around probably the longest for most of the coin dealers in the area, yeah?
Yep.
How long have you been doing coins?
Started as a hobby, I think, about 1951 or 2, dabbling, just learning to see what I had, stamps at the same time, and then coins just seemed to stick with me.
Yeah. So you've been doing coins all through the Hunt Brothers in the late 70s, early 80s, and all that sort of craziness.
Yes, that's when the government decided they were going to tell the Hunt Brothers, you can't do this, you've got to get rid of it. So they set a time and made the Hunt Brothers divest themselves of all of their silver. And when it went into the markets, people weren't supposed to know it. Well, you didn't. It got absorbed with nobody even seeing it. Now there's another power man out there that has a lot of silver. A lot of people would know him. His name is Warren Buffett.
So he has a lot of silver too.
He owns a ton of silver, and I regionally mean physical. The government hit him when they first found out what he did. They sent a notice to a lot of us older dealers that were around what he did, because he had a crew buying this unbeknown to a lot of people. And then he also owns a little company called Ever-Ready Batteries. What kind of material do they use in batteries?
They use a lot of silver.
So we don't know if he's ever used any of it for that, but he's a huge holder.
Wow, so Warren Buffett is a silver stacker.
Yeah,
there you go.
A long time ago.
Wow. Yeah, you got so many cool things in the shop. I don't know if we can even show them all in one video. You got some gold pieces here, looks like. These are kind of cool. Some double eagles.
Yeah, those are $20 gold pieces, a double eagle, and those particular 3 right there was the last thing we bought, came in the shop yesterday afternoon. The gold is like currency. You just don't know what day it's going to be worth how much. Somebody will come by. It doesn't sell real fast, but we're happy to hold it. It's just like having your currency. If you have a piece of gold in one hand and an ounce of silver in the other one, those 2 items, whatever the gold is really worth money anytime. The paper you have, I can go outside of the United States, and it's hard to get rid of because there's too much counterfeits. We see a number of things that are counterfeit right now. Most of it's jewelry, though, but they're doing good things to fool the common person. They'll sell them a bargain for $100 or something, and the person's got zero when they come to see us.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not worth anything.
So you're saying that in general it's better to have gold and silver instead of paper currency because it's money everywhere in the world.
Yeah, but we coin dealers all have to have both. We have to have the money to buy from what you're buying in one person, which can be from a very little bit of money to large sums of money that you could extol. We don't sell it right away. It goes into inventory, so that when somebody does hopefully come by to buy something, we have it. Right now, probably every shop has never seen business like this, and I seen it the first time in 1980. That was the first time you ever had silver going up the $50 range, and gold was up at crazy money. People were bringing anything from the house to see if it's silver or gold.
So they were trying to sell it.
Sell. It was a panic sell.
I believe it.
And now all of the refineries were archaic then. They were old, didn't work well, they had to make everything new. Now the newest one just put a whole new system in around the block from where they were at, and they're now the largest refinery in the U.S. They were before anyway. They
Wow.
buy huge amounts of scrap.
Why are people so interested in metals right now?
The biggest problem is our own government. They don't work well. They're supposed to represent the consumer, and he's not doing a very good job at looking after his people, I guess you could say.
Okay, so inflation and all of that.
Inflation's going to kill us. They're driving prices up. The unions don't help you in any way. They're just having a problem back east now with the UAW causing people. Because if it involves money, we just see a lot of different aspects of it. But coins, if you were doing an investment or just a collection, your little collection someday could surprise you and end up that you just created a really neat little investment. I've seen people buy stuff that was, I got one lady in particular, bought things and they were $40 some a piece. She now has no junky stuff really, unless some little thing just strikes her fancy. But her coins that were $30 to $50 range, you couldn't buy them barely now for $200 and up a coin.
Wow, so she did pretty
She's
good on
done
those.
real well.
So do you prefer mostly coins or bullion? What do you guys do here?
We do or buy anything that you don't really have to feed that has a monetary value.
So it doesn't matter,
Particularly
huh?
related to silver, gold, or a collector coin.
Okay, I see.
We would buy them all.
Wow.
You're going to get whatever its current market prevails.
Denny, I'm just going to show the people kind of the rest of your shop here because there's so much going on. So we have all these cases with just crazy cool stuff in it. I see you got some currency. This one looks like a short snorter back here.
Oh yeah, a lot of people wouldn't know what that is. That was all signed if you were in the service. The last ones you saw a lot of would have been in Vietnam. Usually guys know where they were going the next day on a patrol, and I've had one in here one time was signed, but nothing but sergeants from each group that was being sent out the next day. A lot of them have a meeting, have drinks, they're having dinner because some of them won't come back.
Right, so they get all the signatures on there. That's a little piece
It's a
of history. Yeah, keepsake. Got a bunch of stuff over here too, medallions and all sorts of coins.
Most everything out is U.S. There's some Canadian. We buy anything, even if it's foreign or if you're dealing in an ancient coin. We love to have you talk to a gentleman in here by the name of Vincent. He loves anything ancient. The older, the better.
He's the ancient guy?
Yep. And he just loves the stuff. He doesn't get tired of talking to the kids even to show them, tell them, so they get smarter.
I believe it. Look at this. We don't call 911. That's a cool sign there. Oh my goodness. You got a whole case here that's kind of spins, huh? I've only seen these cases one time before, and it was in Utah. And I think they're pretty neat. You don't see them that much. Look at that. So you can kind of spin it around and see a bunch of coins. People are going to come check out your shop for sure. You just got so many things. I mean, you can't even see it all in this one video because you got all these coins back here, and I mean, it's just insane. You have so much.
We did have a whole lot of bags piled in the floor. Take a look over on that part. There's
All this
still
stuff
some
over
bags.
here? What is it?
Yes.
Pennies or what is it?
These were pennies. There's also bags of foreign. There's probably, at least 40,000 bulk different pieces of foreign money down there.
Really?
coins.
In these bags?
Yeah.
Wow, look
And
at
there's more
that.
pennies in some of them.
That's amazing.
We did do a deal, and we had a gentleman call yesterday wanting more wheat pennies because we sell them by bags that we just call them out. Don't let anybody ever tell you that the bags are unsearched or they wouldn't know what it is, because nobody's going to take a chance of losing a $500 coin.
You think people gone through all the bags?
Yes, they'll go through them, and we 100% check them because we don't want you to buy anything that we sell you that's got problems, hopefully, even if it only costs you 4 cents.
Right. Well, that's smart. You go through it all.
And they've actually went up now. I'd take it back. From 4 cents a whole bag, 5,000 wheat pennies would probably cost you about $240 from me today, because I think the last dealer just paid me $245, and we shipped 17 bags to a little place in New York. And the post office lost one. We didn't know it for probably 3 months that one bag didn't show up.
Wonder where it ended up. Someone got a tip, huh?
Somebody that worked for your nice post office back there made it look like the corners were caved in, and then you could see on the top of the box when they brought it back, it had been cut with a really nice razor knife.
Wow.
Straight and sharp cut to remove the lid.
So they were stealing the coins.
They were going to take all the coins, but I'll bet they're surprised when they got a bag with 5,000 wheat pennies in it.
They thought it was something else. What do you think is going to happen to gold and silver? I mean, you've said we got crazy inflation. The government doesn't know what they're doing. Do you think it's going to really take off here?
It's just been a little crazy with what the prices have done. I think if people can still buy it, I think it's really cheap to what they can possibly push it to at this time. There's more people owning it every week. You've got somebody, we talk to somebody at least every week or two. We're getting a new person in that's been sent over. And then you'll get people that'll just finally look into a phone book or somebody else they'll ask, and they'll come by to see what they're really getting, because they just don't have the faith in what we've let things go to.
So you think it's cheap? You think gold and silver are cheap right now?
I think they're cheap because you just don't trust the dollar. You don't trust what the government. With them, if you look and see how much you've got printed, it wouldn't be very pretty. It's pretty common stuff now.
Yeah.
So I just look for worse inflation. With the current price of the silver and the gold, it's just way cheap.
I think you may be right. But I was going to ask you about some of these coins and bars here in the back. It looks like you got some fakes.
We bought them. They knew that they were bad.
Oh, you bought them knowing they were fake.
We get things. Just knock on wood. You used to have to know what was bad by looking. You didn't have a machine that would check both gold, silver, and the first one that come out doing real good was they had things that check stones, diamonds particularly. What you can do is look and say, yeah, I know that's good, and then check yourself with something that'll help you not lose your money. So a lot of dealers, I would still say, if I covered up the grade of what the coin was, because we had some fun with a few over the years. We took a holder from PCGS, NGC. They were very carefully opened. The coin you didn't care about was removed, and a counterfeit was installed. And the dealers we let grade it, they missed that they were all phony coins. They just did.
You weren't actually trying to sell them. You were just trying to check and see if they knew their stuff.
To see if they knew.
And they all failed the quiz?
They failed the quiz.
Where was this at? Was this in...
show?
Oh, at a coin show?
Yeah, when they had a lot of us all together in one area. It was fun to get.
That's so funny.
Always look at the coin. Don't buy just the holder. If you're buying PCGS, NGC, ICG, ANEX, they've had some bad experiences with it, and it's because somebody else took it, tampered with it, put a bogus coin that you knew wasn't really going to make it, and sold it to somebody. So you try to get those people as well as the coins.
Wow. So you got to buy the coin, not the holder. Well, that's really good advice.
And like the ones he's seen in the case, we've had gold bars. We've had the last one we just looked at was on Friday, and it was an old silver quarter, an Isabella quarter. It was a commem, first of the commemorative series. And that thing was a bogus coin. You could tell real quick when you just look at the finish and you're familiar with certain things, the finish isn't right. Some coins have things that are offset. If you were looking in a showcase and just saw that silver dollar or that little gold piece that's in there, if you could see certain things on it good enough at that distance of a few inches through a case would tell you that the coin is bad.
Wow, so just last week you guys had a fake quarter that you
had a fake quarter come in. Another dealer had called and wanted to get our opinion of what we thought the thing was. So Vincent took a look first, and he come over and showed it to me, and oh yeah, you're making the right call. It's a hunk of junk.
Wow.
It's better to know that than spend $300 or $400 if you got off that cheap.
Yeah, no doubt. Are you seeing more fakes these days? I mean, because you've been doing this for quite a long time. Over the years, does it seem like they're just more prevalent? I don't know, China's making a bunch of fakes now. What do you think?
You're getting stuff, yes, Chinese, they need to be able to get a better market, this stuff off of the market, which there is a law that says that the government should be taking care of this, but they're not doing it. They blatantly advertise things on one particular channel, and everything that's on that channel is bogus. It's all counterfeit. The bars are bad, the coins are bad. And in that shop, if you had the chance to see it in person in China, there would be a case looking similar to mine that has like 4 or 5 drawers. Each drawer is the same coin, but it varies in the price you pay for that coin because of how the quality is. They go from reasonably catch-me-quick piece of junk to one that's extremely hard to tell, and they're shipping that stuff. And they get here for somebody else to try to sell somebody else here.
That's crazy. So they have different grades of
They
fakes.
can get different fakes. The biggest thing we're seeing now is not necessarily the coins as much, unless you checked with dealers around. The biggest ones, the last ones I seen that come in the street, the first week they hit around in here, they were $20 gold pieces. And
Just like these right here.
they were actually just similar to these, but the finish wasn't as good. The strikes were, from a professional standpoint, bad. But there was a few of them stuck people, and they were getting such a bargain at $200, they thought they were going to get $1,000 and more profit on these coins.
Oh, no.
And so the people lost the money.
So that's probably, if the deal is too good to be true,
Leave it alone.
it's a fake.
You're going to get burned.
Yeah, $200 for a $20 gold piece. That's a fake.
Pretty bad. Jewelry is the biggest one. That's what I meant to say. We're seeing lots of jewelry. Most of the stuff that's the worst is marked 18 karat. Not even too many of them have been 14, but they are really a lot of counterfeits. People are paying $75 to $200 for these pieces, and they're worth exactly nothing. Some of them are copper, some of them are a base metal, and they've all been heavily plated.
You mean like necklaces or rings?
Necklaces and rings primarily.
Okay.
Here's one counterfeit ring. This is the only counterfeit one that's left right now.
All right.
This was 18 karat gold, I think, on this one with the glass that's in it. Nothing's any good. We did have a couple. Most of them that were the worst looking have no stones or anything in them. They're just heavily gold looking. And they vary depending on who's worn them, how long. They could look like clear, funny brass that's been out in the elements too long, to pretty good looking stuff. But if you wear them just a few days, they usually start turning bad.
Yeah, you know right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are always trying to take advantage of other people. It's pretty sad. So what's the coolest coin you got in here, Denny? Or what's the most rare, interesting piece that you like? Maybe a good story behind it or something like that?
There was a lady come in, and I've had a couple like this. Her grandfather was a manager or something, oversaw a bank way back when. I've had a couple people like that. And he had access to just getting things when they came into the bank. And of all things, to see 2 rolls plus singles of SVDBs. And then one of them was sold as a whole roll off. And I don't know if she's still alive now. I have not, because we don't follow customers. Your business is your business. We see you when you want to be seen.
Right.
And out of this, there was one original roll that was sold intact at auction. A lot of years ago we handled for her when we got that. And that's 50 pennies that were all gem BU.
Oh my goodness.
You're talking a fortune.
So they were at the bank and they just
he
found
got
it in
them
the drawer.
This guy took him. He was the boss of the store back in that year of a bank. And I had one other one here. And he has coins that his grandfather had gotten in the early years of banking from a bank when the banks had got him in, and to hear stories back that had been going with these things that somebody could have just
Found in their pocket,
dealers,
really.
yeah. I've known dealers in my time that actually had original bags of dollars. And to see what these things come out at was just flabbergasted.
What would you say that roll of the 1909 SVDBs would go for today if you were to sell it at auction? What do you think?
I would say if you got that roll today and just meticulously got some of those coins that would have been crazy graded at the time, you'd have to see what is still on the books for the grades 66 through 67 or 8. Multiply, say, 11 to 15,000 times 50.
So you think,
Stupid money.
I mean, $500,000 to $1 million probably.
Easy. I'd never seen coins look like that for that date.
And he just got them for 50 cents
50 cents is all he.
That's all he
in
paid
that
for 'em.
roll. Yeah.
Wow.
Because they said that everything in there he had taken out of the bank.
What a score.
No.
You could retire off $1 million, especially back in the day. You actually have a few Morgan dollars out here.
Yeah, those are real common stuff Vincent put out there. So somebody can see some that's out, just sits there. There's some 90%, there's some cert dollars. Right now you're looking at stuff. There's not the scarcer stuff in the case would probably be some ancients in there outside of the Mexican really low mintage proof that you do not sell very often. Vincent just sold a set on Friday to some gentleman we had along with a few other coins, but he was impressed by something to do with the Mexican ones he liked. The mintage was low and what was on them.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like the Libertads just
Yeah.
for the design,
They're
especially
cool
on these
collector.
proof and reverse proof, and some of them are pretty cool. Let me ask you this, Danny. You've been doing this for such a long time. Do you have any advice for people who are new to silver, gold, or coins? Maybe something they should look for or watch out for? What do you think?
Most of it, you just ask a lot of questions. There's nothing the matter than checking. You get one deal you really like, stay with them. You get people in there to ask questions to. That's where you're going to learn a lot. The more they can explain to you about something, if you have the money to tie up certain things, you're not going to reach quick with the silver or the gold. It's going to be a time item that varies every day. Our screen, when we're looking up prices, changes every 60 seconds. So the price could change while you're in here. I've had that happen. Move. When I started out, put the price, and when we finished, the gold had went up like $2 and silver had moved like 15 cents.
Oh, wow.
But that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Buy things, ask questions, learn about what you're going to get, and don't be afraid, because the dealer that's helping you the most is going to educate you. The smarter customer I got, the better customer I have, because he's knowing what he gets from me and what he's going to get from somebody else. Because there's a lot of things you can buy off the internet, which 10 years ago screwed a lot of people, because there was people on there selling stuff you really weren't getting what you expected to be getting. It looked really pretty, and you come to find out it was pretty because somebody helped make it prettier after the mint.
Oh, like
They
polished it up or
altered,
ruined it,
polished.
cleaned
The
it?
big words that come in is whizzed coins. So there's never a dumb question, because that's your money and you want to at least get part of it back when you decide you want to sell them. Silver and gold, there's nothing the matter as a long-term investment. Figure you're going to need to keep it a number of years before it's going to go up nuts unless you hit it in a really cheaper cycle. Like now it's both silver, gold, platinum, palladium. They're all down from what they were even 6-8 months ago. They've had quite a run up and down. But the economy, when you look at everything we've got, just checking the economics, the way you run things, you got pretty bad government policies. There's always room for improvement, no matter how I get up on my box and complain. It takes a lot of us at one time to make a difference.
Well, I really appreciate all the wisdom, Denny. I appreciate the time. You actually came down here on one of your off days just to let me look through the shop.
Anytime. We used to be open 5.5 days a week. Currently, to run our little business, we're in here Monday through Friday, and then we have help that works in here.
All right. Well, there is his card if you want to
And the back
give
of it's
Denny a
the
call.
way that we like to deal with people. That is a copy of an old cigar box label, paid in full. You can't replace being able to just get whatever you've got in your hand. You really physically have something. You deal with a piece of paper, stay away from the stuff that's on the stock market. When you're ordering metals, it'll cost you more, and then you may have a problem getting it once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate
Just
all of
as
the
easy.
wisdom and the time, Denny.
Hey, thank you very much for coming by.